Ruach wanted me to explain to you guys something. In the reading of Luke 21, this already took place. This is Yahushua explaining to Judah the southern kingdom was to come to them, because at this point the northern kingdom had already fallen into captivity to Rome. But Yahushua said, the time is coming when all these things you're admiring will be knocked down, and not one stone will be left on top of another. All will become one vast heap of rubble. Master, they exclaimed, when? And will there be any warnings ahead of time? He replied, don't let anyone mislead you, for many will come announcing themselves as the Messiah and saying the time has come. But don't believe them, and when you hear of wars and insurrections beginning, don't panic. True wars must come, but the end won't follow immediately. For nations shall rise against nations and kingdoms against kingdoms. But there will be great earthquakes and famines in many lands, and epidemics and terrifying things happening in the heavens. This part that I'm about to read, this already took place. You will find that in the reading of Acts 8. But before all this occurs, there will be a time of special persecution, and you will be dragged into synagogue and prisons, and before kings and governors, for my name's sake. But as a result, the Messiah will be widely known and honored. Therefore, don't be concerned about how to answer the charges against you, for I will give you the right words, in such logic that none of your opponents will be able to reply. Even those closest to you, your parents, brothers, relatives, and friends, will betray you and have you arrested, and some of you will be killed. And everyone will hate you because you are mine, and you are called by my name. But not a hair of your head will perish, for you will stand firm, and you will win your souls. Covered this before. The kingdom of Jehudah was in Utah, and that's where a temple was, and that's when they took it over. The Babylonian captivity was in Jerusalem in Utah, the four corners. But when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then you will know that the time of destruction has arrived. Then let the people of Judea flee to the hills. Let those in Jerusalem try to escape, and those outside the city must not attempt to return. For those will be the days of judgment, and the words of ancient scriptures written by the prophets will be abundantly fulfilled. This is God's judgment on the southern kingdom being the last kingdom to fall. So he's telling them to run for the hills because they're coming to take them into captivity, like the northern kingdom that fell into captivity. Woe to mothers in those days, and those with tiny babies, and there will be great distress upon this nation, and wrath upon this people, and they will be brutally killed by the enemy weapons, or sent away as exile and captives to all the nations of the world. And Jerusalem shall be conquered and trampled down by the Gentiles until the period of the Gentiles' triumph ends in Yah's good time. So you see, this already happened to our people, to both kingdoms. Then there will be strange events in the skies, warning evil omens and portents in the sun, moon, and stars. And down here on earth, the nations will be in turmoil, perplexed by the roaring seas and strange tides. The courage of many people will falter because of the fearful fate they see coming upon the earth, for the stability of the very heavens will be broken up. Then the people of the earth shall see me, the Messiah, coming in a cloud with power and great glory. That's what you're seeing right now. Those so-called drones, they're not drones. Those are chariots of fire, coming to gather his exiled people. So when all these things begin to happen, stand straight up and look up, for your salvation is near. You hear that, Jehudah, Joshua? Then he gave this illustration. Notice the fig tree, or any other tree. When the leaves come out, you will know without being told that summer is near. In the same way, when you see these events taking place that I've described, you can be just as sure that the kingdom of Yah is near, as solemnly declare to you. And when these things happen, that the end of this age has come. And though all heaven and earth shall pass away, yet my words remain forever true. Watch out, don't let my sudden coming catch you unaware. Don't let me find you living in careless ease, carousing and drinking, occupied with problems of this life, like all the rest of the world. Keep a constant watch and pray that if possible you arrive in my presence without having to experience these horrors. Every day Yahushua went to the temple to teach, and the crowds began gathering early in the morning to hear him. And each evening he returned to spend the night on the Mount of Olives. I covered this before. This is Kamala Harris Gematria. As you can see right there, the second coming. Adonai, are you going to free Joshua from Rome now and restore us as an independent nation, because we're still under Rome? Peter is Janos, the keeper of the keys, and they're the ones that gave you the church. Everything that happened to us gets returned right back. The enemies of Joshua and Jehudah get a double portion of the bitter cup. So Peter, the one that gave you the church, will have to pastor his own church and destroy the church at the end days. Peter the Roman, Peter Paterjanos, who will pastor his sheep in my tribulations. And when these things are finished, the city of the seven hills room will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge his people. The end. The beheadings in the book of Revelation, yes, that will happen. Going into exile as slaves, yes, Russia and China will be coming in and making people into slaves. That's going to happen. To who? The enemies of Joshua and Jehudah. It gets returned. And I tell you guys to look up the Constantine Creed. In order to become a Christian, you had to do away with anything that had to do with the Hebrew Messiah, including his name and his feast days. Look it up. That's to become a Christian. So this is where we are right now. This point in history, on the reading of Micah. But the last days, Mount Zion will be the most renowned of all the mountains of the world, praised by all the nations. People from all over the world will make pilgrimages there. Come, they will say to one another, let us visit the mountain of Adonai and see the temple of Yah of Yasharel. He will tell us what to do, and we will do it. For in those days the whole world will be ruled by Adonai from Jerusalem, and he will issue his laws and announce his decrees from there. I will not be doing the whole reading. In that coming day, Adonai says that he will bring back his punished people, sick and lame and dispossessed, and make them strong again in their own land, a mighty nation. And Adonai himself shall be their king from Mount Zion forever. O Jerusalem, the watchtower, just people, your royal might and power will come back to you again, just as before. But for now, you scream in terror. Where's your king to lead you? He is dead. Where are your wise men? They're all gone. Pain has gripped you like a woman in labor, rife and ground in a terrible pain. O people of Zion, for you must leave the city. You live in the fields. You'll be sent far away into exile in Babylon. But there I will rescue you and free you from the grips of your enemies. Truly many nations have gathered together against you, calling for your blood, eager to destroy you. But they do not know my thoughts nor understand my plan. For the time will come when Adonai will gather together the enemies of his people, like sheep upon the threshing floor, helpless before Yasharel. So-called drones, they're not drones, those are chariots. A wheel within a wheel.